Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
This is a topic which, until you need it, you don't even want to talk about it, especially family time. And a mother may say, listen, I want to talk about something happens to me. No, Mom, don't talk about that. Nothing's going to happen to you. Well, we have a guest here who's Ryan Sherman. And Ryan is the sales manager for Dignity Memorial, that big, powerful memorial company. So, did I say what's true?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What is it? Just like it's no one wants to know that someone's going to die, and you're all going to die, but no one wants to face it.
Well, it's one of the certainties in life. It's part of the deal. There's no way of getting around it. I've yet to meet a 300-year-old vampire or somebody walking the streets. They may see ghosts, but, they may have passed in a prior life. But this is something that's very important to everyone, no matter who you are, race, creed, color, nationality, origin, poor, rich. It doesn't make a difference. It happens to everyone.
And what happens when you actually have someone who comes in and they really do want to do something? What do you do? Tell me the questions you ask and what they should know. Because they're probably afraid right now. They're listening. They're saying, well, I'd like to, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Well, they've heard probably 20 different stories upon how it works and what is entailed. The idea is the younger you are to do this, typically it's less expensive than waiting until your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. It all depends on what you want to do. So when we meet with families, you find out what they want. Find out exactly what they want, whether they want to have cremation or be buried. Where do they want to be? We're nationally, we have locations in all the states and even in Canada. So it just depends on exactly how they want to do it and what the process is. The process is quite cumbersome than what most people think it is, especially on the burial side, especially if you're in the religious aspect as well. So particularly down here in South Florida, we have a high Jewish population. I happen to be Jewish, and the way that Jewish people are buried is a lot different than normal, say Christians or people of a different faith. So there's a lot entailed, and a lot of people don't know the traditional values that may be in place or the cost and the timeline you need to do this in order to make it very appeasing to you. And basically, it's for your family. It's not for you. You're gone. So this is something you're preparing to make sure on the worst day of their lives that this is done and taken care of. It's the biggest present you could actually give to your kids and your loved ones and your family than you could actually really think about.
Ryan, many, many years ago, I was told that when someone got married, the first thing they did is they had a life insurance policy for their spouses, and they had the burial information. That was just what you did.
Sure.
People don't do that anymore, do they?
Well, they do life insurance.
Yes, life insurance. Sometimes.
Life insurance is for the living. This is for the what if it happens. God forbid if you are in your 30s, 40s, or 50s or something that's going to happen. And this is to make sure that the rest of life's covered. What we do is we strictly concentrate on the final preparation of your end of life. No matter, we don't know when death is going to occur. And when the time comes, you want to make sure that you're prepared for it and your family's prepared for it. So they don't have to go through the 150 decisions that they think you may want. Instead of knowing exactly what you want, you plan for it and you get it done tailored to what you want, not what your family would think you would want. So that's a big important thing, aspect of what we do for families, is making sure we give the person who's planning for it exactly what they want to do, whether if it's extremely extravagant or as very as simple as possible.
Yeah, those are very good key points, and I do attest to what you said. In my capacity as a gerontologist, I have been involved in a lot of this, and the one big thing happens is that people, as you said, they don't know what the person wants, but you have a lot of fighting going on with family members, and this is very bad. That's why a good elder law attorney needs to include this. I don't know if they do. They do a lot of things about trust, but they need to include at the end who gets to make the decisions, what are the decisions,
and where. We have so many locations just here in South Florida. You don't know whether you want to be in Boca or Palm Beach or Miami. It all depends. So,
or fly up to New York.
We do a lot of ship outs to New York and Massachusetts and the Northeast, primarily, especially from South Florida. No one's actually from South Florida anymore that lives down here. They're all born and raised somewhere else, but now this is their final resting place, typically.
And the other part of this is then actually having something said about you. Wouldn't it be better for you to write what you want someone to say rather than the family, who some of them don't even know what you've done?
or they may not have really good things to say about you as well.
Oh, well.
That's the other caveat. You never know. But it does, doing the preparations in advance always helps the family members know exactly what their roles are and know exactly what is needed and what's done. So the responsibility falls off of the loved ones, and it's completely just go and make a couple different decisions at the time of passing, and that's it. It's all done from there. We take it from soup to nuts,
And the other thing is, years ago, the Jewish population really didn't consider cremation. And now that's all changed. Why has that changed?
I think primarily cost. I think that has become a big reason. And the traditional values I'm Jewish myself, so the traditional values of the Jewish burial, I don't know if it's just the generational type of things that have happened, but I know majority down here in South Florida, it's just the cost. Families believe, all right, we can do the cremation piece because now, I'd rather give whatever we're going to spend on a burial to the family and the loved ones, the grandkids or whomever it is. And at this point, it's just about, once I'm gone, I'm gone. Jewish people, have always had a very basic burial. There's no extravagance. It's very simple and it's very basic. Now the cremation has become more prevalent because of that reason, I believe. I don't believe it has anything to do with what has happened in the past. I just believe it's become an economic factor these days.
I remember when my mother said to me, I want you to come and have to buy a casket. And she and her two sisters, they all lived in Miami Beach, and I went with them. And I can't even tell you how much they had to spend to do this.
Sure.
And, but that's what they wanted to do, and they all want to be together. And, of course, I could hardly look at all that. I was younger. But I will say that when the time came, my mother lived to be 94, her sister lived to be 95. When the time came, I didn't have to think about it. I just knew what it was. But I will tell you something else is I have not been to see my mother at the gravesite because I see my mother in a lot of the things that she's given me, her watch, everything. I'm different. I guess maybe I'm more modern, whatever it is. My mother's not there. I don't think it's for me, but there are people. I have cousins that go every year. They see their, everybody's different, like you said.
Absolutely.
And do you offer all those differences?
We offer anything and everything you can think of, whether it's a memorialization. You can be cremated and have your memorialization in one of our cemeteries because they do have niches where you put the urns and the place to be memorialized inside of theirs. Or we have ossuaries where you can actually put ashes into a tube and have a plaque put there as well. So there's there's quite a few different scenarios or ways to be memorialized besides just being buried. The population as a whole has gone more towards cremation.
What I want to do, Ryan Sherman is the sales manager of Dignity Memorial. See, he's very enthusiastic. I'm going to give you the website, and then I'm going to give you a phone number. I want to make sure I give the right phone number. But the website is dignitymemorial.com. And what phone number would you like someone to call you?
Well, typically I've had people call me because I run the outside sales for South Florida. So once people call me, I can speak with them and point them in the right direction as to where they are, whether it's up here in Boca or if it's down south in Fort Lauderdale. My pre-planning advisors go anywhere and everywhere in all of South Florida.
Okay, so is that the 954-614?
1023.
1023. All right, I'll do that again slowly. Remember, this is Pencil Talk Radio. Get your pencils out. It's 954-614-1023. 614-1023. One nice thing is that you'll be able to meet Ryan and his associates at the Boomer Expo. We're getting ready for that on January the 16th. I know we're going to have huge crowds like we always do, and then you can see and talk and get closer, but the radio's still good. I want to go back to what you said, and because I think it's important. Why don't we offer some of the different ideas? So let's just go through every single thing that could happen that you would say, if you want this, do you want that, do you want this? Give us maybe 5 different scenarios.
Oh, okay, sure. Scenarios would be depending on, the cremation versus the burial is one. So the cremation. So now what happens? The cremation, you can have it as basic as you want, where you just go and you're picked up by our funeral directors or our service, bring you to the crematorium, you do the cremation, and your ashes are dispersed into Whether it's not an urn, you have to pick out an urn. So that's something you have to do as well. If you don't want an urn, then you're placed in a box and it's given to the loved ones. You can do that, or you can have a big celebration of life at the cremation. You can have you can have a viewing, you can have, so you're inviting people to the actual one of our locations that are down here in South Florida, do the memorialization, have people come up and speak, have it catered, you can have flowers, you can have it extravagant as you want, or you can just have a simple service, maybe in one of our funeral homes, or you can do it in your church.
Some people go to the beach.
Anywhere you want to do, or have your ashes scattered at sea. We get a ton of requests for that, where they want them scattered at sea. You can do
make
that.
Arrangements
Absolutely.
for them?
And we also can use, we own the Neptune Memorial Reef down in Miami.
Tell us about that. I've heard so much about that.
It's an underground memorialization where you can take the ashes of loved ones and put them in a memorialization down in the reef that's buried down there. Whether you pick a column, there's different ways to actually put them in the different, mementos. So it's a turtle, or it could be a sea lion or a dolphin. So those are just a few on the cremation side. The burial side could be anything. It depends on your race or your creed or your religion. The caskets are from, $1,000 up to tens of thousands of dollars.
Right.
Where you're actually buried and how you're buried. The location in the cemeteries is a big, cost factor in what you're really looking at. Or you want to pick out plots for you and your entire family. You might have a side set that your entire family needs to go here, and or you can build an estate, or your synagogue get involved and say, hey, we want these 25 different properties for our congregation, and you're put in these particular slots. So it all depends on how much you really want to put into it and what you want to get out of it.
Right.
And also the economical piece of it.
Yeah, that's really wonderful. Well, it is so good that you are here to kind of help us with this, because first of all, people shy away from it, as we said, to begin
It's not a very comfortable topic.
No, it isn't. But I can see with your smile and who you are, and you believe in it so much, and you can really make people feel better about this whole thing. And that's really important.
I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if I didn't believe wholeheartedly in the benefits of it. And not just for, the people we're meeting with, but their family, their loved ones. So that's the biggest part of it. Yeah,
it is. And Dignity Memorial does have a great reputation, a very big name, and I know that. And you're all over the state, but you said are you actually national?
Yes, our corporate headquarters is in Houston, Texas, and we are nationwide. We have over 20,000 employees in the company, and we have over 2,400 locations in North America. So we do stretch into Canada as well.
I did not know that.
Our parent company is Service Corporation International. So SCI is our parent company, publicly traded company.
Oh, SCI.
Yeah, it's a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange. So we've been around for decades, and down here in South Florida, we're known as Dignity Memorial. That's our brand name.
Oh, I see. Because I knew a lot of people. Actually, SCI used to advertise with us for quite a few years.
They've been around forever, especially in South Florida.
Right.
It's just a matter of, what has gone on in transitions and accumulation of different companies that maybe have merged or come together. But we operate under the Dignity Memorial brand.
It's actually a great name,
I think it's self-serving is what it is.
Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful name, and I'm glad that, that you're here to do this. So, the whole point of this is that we're trying not to be morbid about anything. We're trying to do something, just like when you fill out a will. A lot of people don't even want to talk about doing a will because this has so many other little branches and all. And I know that's the same thing. So we have an elder law attorney who said, okay, when you're all getting together for the holidays, bring up the subject of a will and what we want to do. And now we should do that in Dignity Memorial. And thank you so much, Ryan. I'm really glad. Hopefully we'll get you to come again.
Anytime.
Thank you.
You're welcome.